Carry on, all you wayward sons, and welcome back to the finale of Parasite Eve 2 and the Parasite Eve series, because there are no more Parasite Eve games after this. First things first, we need to go through this door here.
Relax. This little one's just like you. She'll be your guide soon.
Let her go, you freak.
What have we here? The heroine has arrived at last. Now the stage is set. Alas, there's only an audience of one.
Kyle? What a twist.
Thanks to you calling in the troops, my sample acquisition's a failure. I couldn't take responsibility for my own actions or anything. So much work, so much money, all gone to waste in a night. But so what? My life support is off and I will be dead before morning. So while we're waiting for that, I might as well finish my part of the plan. Which involves laughing a lot, because let's face it, I have a great laugh. The fate of the world is, as they would say, in my hands. And what lovely hands they are, too.
What's your game, number 9?
It's called Unnatural Selection. My little partner is just what this thing needs to shed its cocoon. The virus it spreads will bring a new dawn for humanity. You've seen Resident Evil, right? Especially 5, because that's what we're going for here. NMC conversion on a global scale. Now that's conversion.
Nobody wants your brand of evolution.
But that's exactly why they must change. Humans' evolution is dead and they can't even see it.
What makes you so sure?
Ha, Madigan, fill in our friend, would you?
Kyle?
You were expecting Santa Claus?
Where are you taking orders from?
Our organization is dedicated to growing the human race. At no other time in Earth's history has a species dominated like humans do now. Except maybe the dinosaurs, but we're forgetting that. It's unhealthy, we're killing ourselves. Still not remembering those dinosaurs, they were kind of dominant too. We're making a new natural order to preserve and save humanity. The same bullshit that you hear from villains in all sorts of stories.
That is not how that works. Plus, they were kidnapped.
Psh, you're wrong. They all requested the procedure. Promise. They threw away mortality and dignity for eternal youth.
The cavalry will be here any time now. Finish her now.
Yes, sir. Using you to get to Eve was more trouble than I thought.
Kyle? You asshole. I loved you. I can't believe you would do this to me. You fucking shot me. You actually shot me. Don't you know I'm the main character?
It's working!
Time to put on your mask. Just like me.
Madigan, you traitor!
Psh, me, a traitor, please. I was just thinking humanity is doing fine, just the way it is. Plus, take a look at her and take a look at you. Which one do you think I'm going to pick?
You'll regret this.
I already do. I should have taken you out days ago, before you put those two in danger!
Madigan, you fool! I'll take you all out with me!
Aya, are you okay?
You asshole.
I'm so sorry. I had to play both sides to figure out what was going on here.
I think I understand. I figured it was a diversion. I totally expected that, even after you shot me.
Objective achieved. We've got wounded. Send a medic immediately. Huh, that's weird. Repeating.
Aya? Eve, you can speak. Are those stars?
What? But that looks like... Oh shit, here it comes. Aya! Quick, run!
The fuck was that? Eve? Kyle?
Aya, you okay?
Kyle? Phew. Are you hurt?
I'm fine. But Eve's fallen down below.
What? You had one job.
Quick, go save her. I'm too cool to risk my life. That creature fell down there with her.
Alright.
There's a bit I cut from this cutscene. This cutscene was 11 minutes long, which is ridiculous, and there was a lot of excess that didn't need to be there.
Eve. Pain. My gunshot wound.
Which will not affect our gameplay in any way, as far as I know. I am, of course, not playing this legit, so I could be wrong on that. Oh, by the way, you can't save at this point. Quickly get through that door, or an Invisidude will show up. And here it is, the second to last boss fight. I don't exactly know what this thing is. I know this is the thing, well, I know that hurts. I know this is the thing that Nine was working with or creating or something. Ideally at this point you want the tactical armor which will give you some more health and magic. I made a mistake buying that armor. Not that it's not good, just with the stat buff that I got, I don't really need it. In buying that armor, I ended up unable to afford the grenade launcher I wanted. I think I ended up about 150 to 200 battle points short, and I could not get any more enemies to spawn that would give me BP. If you save Pierce, and if you check on that soldier and leave the dog with him so that they can carry him out, then you get access to another merchant, and he has that grenade launcher. It holds multiple grenades, so you're not having to reload after every shot, which is very nice and would be very useful to have in this fight. I'm still a bit salty I could not afford it. So this boss battle I really had to cheat. Well, more the final boss than this. I am using a health and magic boost that you guys won't have if you're playing legit. Yeah, that's right, you take it and you like it. That's only phase 1. Now this thing has an Uber attack, which I'm going to be hit by a lot. There are some edits in this first fight, mainly when nothing's happening. From what I can tell, you really need to target this thing whenever its mouth is open. It takes me a little bit to figure that out. And eventually I will figure that out. But that grenade launcher would make this fight a lot easier. I could hit this thing several more times if I wasn't having to reload. But I don't think you do damage to this thing if its mouth is closed. I could be wrong. There could be multiple targets. I'm not really sure. This is the first time I've ever completed this game. And I've never completed it legit, so... Like I've said before, I'm not sure why I'm trying to offer advice. And the final boss, I will say now, I did have to full-on cheat infinite health. I could not do it. You have to go through that whole cutscene. You do not get a save point. Then you have to go through this fight, and then the final boss. With some cutscenes in the middle there. It got really annoying. So I gave up. So if you're looking for help with this playthrough, the final boss I can't really help. I've seen people LP this game that had no trouble with that final boss, but so many camera angles I couldn't see where I was looking. This game has tank control, so if I did see my character, I couldn't make her walk where I wanted because I couldn't tell which direction she was facing. And it was just a bloody nightmare I did not want to have to deal with. Dying even with the stat buff is not fun. So that last cutscene that we had, you might have noticed that was severely edited. That was an 11-minute cutscene, which for my money is too long. There are exceptions, but we're talking Soul Reaver 2, Legacy of Kain Defiance exceptions. Very few other games that I can think of warrant that kind of an exception. There probably are some, but none that I can think of. God of War could probably pull it off. Well, back when that series was good. There are cuts during this fight because nothing happened. I didn't do any damage to it. Probably just took damage. So you didn't miss anything with any cuts. Come on, monster. This fight takes forever. Anytime you want to die would be great. I would love that. Hooray! That 11-minute cutscene had a lot of aspects that I've complained about with the dialogue in this game. Too much excess dialogue that didn't need to be there. We get a lot of rambling and a lot of dialogue that actually says nothing. So that's why a lot of that got cut. You didn't miss anything. You could still tell what's going on in the story with what I put out there. So we couldn't just go to the final boss. Instead, we have to use Bowman's card key one more time in order to get to the final boss. Why, I don't know. The good thing is this does give us a chance to redo our inventory, add items to the belt, take items off, heal up, use a magic refill if we need to. Any of that basic maintenance stuff that you need to do, this is your last chance to do before the final boss fight. Too bad we can't go back and save, but I'm not bitter about that.
Oh no, the penis monster got her.
Colonel! Colonel! Oh, wait, sorry. That's Carrier, a Dreamcast game I really want to play at some point, but I don't have access to Dreamcast games at the moment. Oh, hell. What is this? It's some amalgamation of that penis monster and Eve. So I guess by killing it, we get Eve back? Too many Eves in the series. The first game had 2, although you never saw the first one until the Chrysler building, if you bothered to do that extra dungeon. Although she was referenced from the book or movie, whatever it was, that this series was taken from. Oh, and this is Inferno at max, so enjoy that. This thing can steal your magic and use it against you, so be careful for that. And at this point, I'd fought this thing already, so I kind of was familiar with its patterns. I love this 80s style music playing in the background. Sounds like something you'd hear on an 80s TV show. This thing takes forever to die. So I hope y'all don't mind the edits I've done to the dialogue in this game, but I feel like I made it more succinct the way I did it. You know, if I did not have infinite health, I would be really mad right now. That's another attack you get if you max out one of your abilities. I think it's the side with heal, but I can't remember. I don't even remember what it's called. It's been a couple weeks at least since I played all this. I'm really excited too, because once I complete this game, complete the editing, rendering, all that, I can actually go back to gaming. I just don't have enough time that I want to dedicate to gaming and editing. And that's it. I don't know how to tell you to do that fight legit, but that's how I did it. Be better at gaming than I am? That's really the best advice I can give. Hooray! That's our victory screen, I guess. Not sure what we're supposed to do with any of those stats, but okay. Aya!
Kyle? Is that... You're alive? Are your abs okay?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, good. Where's Eve?
She's fine. She's sleeping next to me. Hey, don't get any funny ideas. She's too young. And I'm not that kind of guy.
Phew. Kyle, There's a lot I have to tell you. Plus, you're still an asshole for shooting me.
Me too. But now it's time to rest.
When I first met you,
Hey, someone's down over here! A young woman and a child! We got 2 down. They're warm. Oh yeah. Hey, you okay? You're lucky we found you in one piece. Medic, over here! Medic! It's too much of a pain in the ass for me to sit there and read this, so I'm not going to. You can pause it if you want to read it. The staff member is just saying that thanks to the missed agents, the incident got resolved. The president says that they should invite the missed agents to the White House, and he even calls her an attractive agent. The staff member mentions that they're managing to cover everything up so the media won't get wind of what's really happening. Russia and China won't know what's really happening. So there's a cover-up going on. They also mention that Kyle resigned and then left. They don't know where he is. And the president is basically like, "After him, Toto, after him!" Or something along those lines. I don't really know. Why Toto? I don't really know. They also talk about making sure this is not connected with the Manhattan incident from the first game, which suggests there's some sort of a cover-up involving the incident from the first game, which kind of detracts a little bit from that story.
it's been almost a year since then. The FBI moved into action, arresting some of its own, and some missed agents, on charges of collaboration with the private organization. However, all information regarding the organization running the shelter has been classified. Nothing was ever explained, and we were slapped with a gag order. The report released to the public explained the events as an armed cultist uprising and its suppression. Just like that, the case was closed. Neomitochondria were filed and forgotten. But we weren't gonna just sit around twiddling our thumbs. Following Baldwin's arrest, Rupert took the senior post. He's working with Jody on a secret project, the full public disclosure of MIST and the NMCs. The Japanese biologist Dr. Maeda has proposed the new superhuman theory. By identifying neomitochondria DNA, he calculated the frequency of latent carriers over a 10-year period. His theory that these carriers would lead the evolution of the human species is not widely accepted. It was enough to interest Pierce. He's been working with Dr. Maida, looking for carriers over the net. They really hit it off, and their project's going well. Pierce thinks that my case, in which the neomitochondria merely strengthened their host instead of taking outright control in its true path to mutual prosperity. They intend to educate possible carriers before they transform. And thereby reduce the occurrence of NMCs and the persecution of carriers that would follow. It's clear from his devotion Pierce has found his life's work. His character has changed, too. No more timid Pierce, Jody is greatly relieved, too. Rupert pulled some strings at the FBI for me and Eve. She's now my younger sister, no questions asked. She's been going to junior high for a month now and loves it. Her face reveals nothing of her dark past. She's full of life and quite popular at school. It also seems that she's lost her neomitochondrial powers. Mr. Douglas was seriously injured in the explosion, but he's recovered and is now rebuilding Dryfield. He sent me a picture of a rifle scope piece tag attached. We've all dealt with what happened in our own ways, started new lives. Only Kyle hasn't been seen, not since that day. I'm gonna miss this sweet ass. I run searches for him now and then, but no luck. I'm totally not a stalker, I swear. I haven't even found a trace. If he hadn't shot me, I'd wonder if he really existed at all. But he saved Eve, and he saved me. Or was it all a dream? A sweet, sweet dream. I hope he didn't get into trouble on account of his helping us. In the meantime, I'll keep searching. After all, he was the one who told me, never give up. Maybe he's got an OnlyFans. Tomorrow I'm taking my first vacation in a long while. Pierce got Eve and me passes to the Nature Museum. Eve craves knowledge. She's so excited about tomorrow she can't sleep. I'll have to brush up if I'm gonna be able to answer her questions.
That's the first time I heard her read all of that dialogue, so some of that had me laughing too, as I had not heard it before. OnlyFans. That's pretty good. Aya does seem like a stalker. I'm not really a big fan of her and Kyle. If I were to be a shipper, it would be more Aya and Maeda from the first game. 1 year later. And nothing bad ever happened again to those people. Kyle didn't get them into any sort of trouble by revealing himself, even though people were after him. Nope, that didn't happen. Well, either way, that would be a story for another game that, in my mind, doesn't exist. Like I've said before, Parasite Eve 1 and 2 are the only Parasite Eve games, and I'm sticking to that. That's actually true. Those are the only 2 Parasite Eve games, so as far as I'm concerned, those are the only games in the series. Anyways, we did it. We made it through the Parasite Eve series. Thank fucking God, finally. I only started the first game back in early 2017, but we're done now, and as we do at the end of all my videos, LPs, whatever, victory sip. Drinking me some Crown and Coke, because it's delicious. I don't really like any of the story stuff involving the president. I don't really see why any of that government stuff was there. It seemed like filler. I've mentioned before that the dialogue at times gets way too wordy. You guys didn't get to see much of that as I've cut most of that. Something I learned from the first game and something I should have done in the first game more than I did. There's a lot of excess, which I complained about earlier this video even. Still, it was nice to see Aya back for another game. The game looks great for a PS1 game. I wish there was some more imagination for the environments because the environments don't really look all that impressive. They're just not interesting to look at. The Acropolis Tower was the best one easily. I didn't really mind Dryfield though. It had kind of a Resident Evil 1 vibe to it. And at least it wasn't a mansion, so that's nice. It seems like this game introduces plot lines and then doesn't carry them forward. We meet Baldwin once. We hear from him in the phone calls whenever we go to save, which you guys didn't get to see most of that. But for the most part, he's just an ancillary character. He's our boss. And any hint that he's up to no good is done through those phone calls to save. And then he's arrested off screen. Instead of the presidential stuff, I would rather he had been involved in those cutscenes with the conspiracy stuff. I also don't like that we don't finish off 9 ourselves. I know we fought him twice already and I really didn't need a third boss fight with him, but I feel like it's a bit anticlimactic that we don't fight him. I would have made the second to last boss fight the final boss, and I would have had another fight with 9 instead of the final boss. Because I feel like Aya should have been the one to take him out. I don't like Kyle at all. Pierce is okay. I think he had potential. I would rather Aya have ended up with Maeda. If not him, then Pierce. I'm not really much of a shipper, but if that's what we're going with. This game also gets way too difficult towards the end of the game, with the enemies being really tough. Although my issues could come from just not knowing how to fight those enemies. It's also kind of funny that Aya talks about Eve being a well-adjusted kid, and of course they have to throw in that she's popular. That made me laugh. After being a test tube baby and used to control all those creatures by an evil corporation, there's absolutely no way she's a well-adjusted kid. And I highly doubt she's actually going to be popular. That was kind of silly. I know I just complained a lot about this game, but I actually do really enjoy it. And I'm really happy that I finally played these 2 games. And I also have to thank my friend who helped me do the dialogue for this game, because without her I would not be familiar with the stories for these games at all. So thank you to her for that. But either way, we're at the end of this LP, so thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in whatever I do next. And enjoy those sweet, sweet rewards. Yes, I do want to save my game.